Hello, thank you for allowing me to speak with you today. I'm Kelly Grant and I'm representing the Sierra Club. The Sierra Club is the largest grassroots environmental organization in the U.S., and we strive to protect the environment on a local, state, and federal basis. A significant part of Sierra Club's mission is to practice and promote the responsible use of the Earth's ecosystem and resources, and to encourage humanity to protect and restore the quality of the natural and human environment. The EPA is soliciting comments in connection with a proposed rule to reinstate animal waste reporting requirements under the Emergency Planning and Community Right to Know Act. As you know, the Sierra Club is passionate about reducing the negative environmental and health impacts of concentrated animal feeding operations, or CAFOs. We are primarily concerned with animal waste emissions from CAFOs because the larger the operations, the more the health and environmental impacts. A CAFO is basically an animal factory where animals are confined at least 45 days or more in an area with no vegetation. Not only is this abusive to animals, it creates hazardous materials from all the manure that is produced, among other things. It's estimated that there are more than 17,000 CAFO facilities in the U.S. The manure production from these CAFOs is up to 1.6 million tons a year. Why does this matter? It matters because animal waste emits hazardous substances including ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, particulate matter, volatile organic compounds, and endotoxin. These substances are hazardous substances under CERCLA and EPCRA, and they have negative impacts to those who live near CAFOs. The EPA highlights 21 studies of negative impacts of animal waste emissions, including odor annoyance, respiratory and lung function issues, gastrointestinal issues, and mortality in connection with the animal waste emissions. Big Ag and Big Dairy believe animal waste reporting is frivolous, burdensome, costly, and overkill for animal waste odor. It is not only the odor from animal waste, but even if it was the odor, studies show that the odor itself leads to respiratory symptoms, gastrointestinal symptoms, neurological symptoms such as dizziness, and it causes anxiety. But let's talk about the other health impacts. We'll talk about asthma. Several studies show that animal waste emissions cause or exacerbate asthma for those who live near CAFOs. For example, children going to schools within a half mile of a 3,800 hog facility have statistically significant differences in rates of asthma than those who go to school 10 miles away or more. We'll talk about decreased lung function. 2 studies in the U.S. show that ammonia emissions contribute to decreased lung function. There are also studies in Europe that show the same thing. Gastrointestinal illnesses. Studies show that those who live near CAFOs have increased emergency room visits compared to those who live further away. And some of these illnesses are, for instance, salmonella. Studies also show that those who live near CAFOs experience increased mortality. There are some studies showing increased mortality, including infant mortality for those living closer to CAFOs. This is for all causes. This could include anemia, kidney issues, cardiac issues, and others. So our position is that the EPA should reinstate animal waste air emissions reporting under the EPCRA because we know that these emissions cause negative health impacts. The impacts are mostly present in environmental justice communities. We believe that the community has a right to know the hazardous nature of animal waste emissions, and so that state and local governments as well as tribes can know what's being emitted, how much is being emitted so they can put in place mitigation efforts for their communities. So our message is the time is now. We need to reinstate the animal waste emissions reporting. Thank you for listening to me, and we hope you take action.